Welcome, you're watching Head to Head. I'm Antonina Antosha with UATV. The United States will consider banning Russian vessels coming from Black and Azov seas from entering into European ports. This was stated by the Special Representative of the United States of America on issues of Ukraine, Kurt Volker, in an interview with Voice of America. And this is just one example of the Western reactions to Russia's open aggression against Ukraine in Kerch Strait on the 25th of November. So was this reaction strong enough? And what else can international community do to prevent the escalation? To discuss this, we're joined in the studio today by Yuri Husyev. He's a former Deputy Minister of Defense of Ukraine. Hello, and thank you for joining us.
Hello, Antonina.
So, as I have already mentioned, the United States of America has openly said that they would like to ban Russian vessels from entering European territorial waters. Would this be a strong reaction enough on the act of aggression performed by Russia? I
guess it should be one of the complex of more sanctions against Russia, because Russia obey international law, obey Geneva Convention, and attack Ukrainian military ships in the Kerch Strait, and world should react on this incident in Ukrainian Sea of Azov and Kerch Strait. And I guess it will be only first step for doing more sanctions against Russia.
Well, clearly this was, Ukrainian attacking vessels was an act of aggression aimed specifically at Ukrainian armed forces or Navy forces. Now, we've been into a hybrid war, meaning Ukraine and Russia, for fifth consecutive year now. So starting 2014, why now?
You're exactly right that we are on the hybrid war Russia started against Ukraine in 2014. But 1 week ago, Russia attacked Ukrainian military ships in the Kerch Strait, and it was an act of aggression, act of war. And Ukraine implement martial law, and now we have martial law in 10 Ukrainian regions, and it's a reaction, and it's a good step for preparation for possibility of Russian attack on the land. And we have to be ready, and we have to make all we need to be ready together with our partners from NATO, for example. That's why it's one more across the red line from Russian side, and Russia attacked openly, and world should to react on this act of aggression from Russian Federation.
There has been information voiced that Russia is getting ready for new attacks on land. You said that we should be ready. How are we getting ready for that? How are we getting prepared?
Now we have many actions in different regions of Ukraine with military units, and we have a roadmap. What should we do from the central government, the central authorities, still local authorities, together with different military units from the General Staff, Ministry of Defense, till the local defense authorities. And now we have a roadmap, and 1 month of martial law will help us to be more prepared for this possibility of aggression from Russian Federation. And now we have joint exercises in different regions. We have many other actions on the local level. We have Council of Defense in different regional level with this oblast, with the martial law, and we have joint exercises with the NATO instructors and with the NATO advisors who help us to implement these new standards and new approaches for this hybrid war and for this martial law as well.
Speaking of NATO, is that even possible that NATO forces, NATO naval forces, could be present in the Black and the Azov Sea?
It's a good question, and you know that President Poroshenko requested to NATO to send more and more vessels to Black Sea and to Sea of Azov, and this year presence of NATO vessels in the Black Sea was about 180 days, and I guess NATO will send more and more vessels in Black Sea, and I hope NATO vessels and military ships will be present temporarily on port of Odessa, port of Yuzhny, port of Kherson, and port of Mariupol as well.
And except for guaranteeing the safety of Ukrainian Navy forces, what kind of message would the Kremlin get out of this NATO presence?
Kremlin should understand that it's not only attack against Ukraine, it's attack against a civil democratic world, and we are part of this coalition with our partners from NATO, from United States, other countries, and Putin personally should understand that it will be more and more sanctions, it will be more and more reaction, it will be more and more concrete steps to help Ukraine defend our territorial integrity, and Putin will have a very strong joint voice of the whole democratic world.
What about the Ukrainian sailors detained on November 25th? How do we have a plan? Does Ukrainian government or Ukrainian officials have a plan on setting the captured free?
The President Poroshenko had meetings and calls with different world leaders, and you know that President Trump canceled his meeting with Putin in Argentina, and we have good meetings in Brussels with NATO. We have a good support from different other leaders. Today in Ukraine we have presence of the President of Lithuania, Dalia Grybauskaitė, and we have a strong support from this group of people to help Ukraine to make our hostages of Kremlin free, and I guess it will be joint roadmap. What should we do all together? We have some messages from our partners from United States that it could be switch off of many services in banking system and other systems as a continuation of sanction against Russia because of this aggression, and because of this act of aggression against Ukrainian ships and our hostages in Kremlin in Moscow now.
Thank you so much for coming and clarifying the situation for us. That was Yuri Husyev. He's a former Minister of Defense of Ukraine. Thank you so much for watching UATV. Stay tuned for more.